brethren.
Big what's your road shit? Don't know where on the block, man.
Oh, okay.
Come over here.
Oh. What's up, guys? So I'm actually at my dad's old neighborhood for this special Father's Day video. Well, I don't know if special is the right word. It's kind of more personal and emotional because I have a lot of unfortunately bad memories with my dad, with him not being a good father, not being there, being raised by a single mom, and how that's affected me. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell my story and take you along the way. I'm trying something out new here, so let's see how it goes. Here it is, guys. This is my dad's old building. This is 5 Bellevue Crescent. So, what you all just saw a second ago was Bellevue Crescent, specifically 5 Bellevue Crescent. So, that was pretty much the building my dad lived in. It's actually right behind me. Probably can't see it as well, but yeah, I just felt like I wanted to do the vlog here just to make it a bit more interesting. And you know, it can help me bring back some memories, so it can tell a more compelling story and hopefully inspire some of you guys. Yeah, on with the video. Hey, got you guys. So this area kind of brings back some memories, you know, especially with me and my dad, since me and him, and as well as my mom, sometimes I used to live here for 12 years old, stay here overnight, and my dad would walk me around the neighborhood to shop and introduce me to his friends. So it's pretty interesting and kind of nostalgic. Well, I don't know about nostalgic, but definitely brings back some strong memories. Just wanted to touch on a short little subject that I find interesting, because me not growing up with a good father to teach me right, and yeah, just walking around this neighborhood, I kind of remember how my dad used to not really work, so I never really had an example of as a man who goes to work and works hard to provide for his family. And also I kind of seen how he hangs out with his friends, always just smoking and drinking all the time. Funny enough, even as a kid, I remember some of the times he took me to a bar, like a straight up bar. Like, what kind of parent takes their kid to a bar? But yeah, it's weird. But honestly, I just love how this Weston Lawrence area has really grown over the years. Maybe the past like 15, 20 years, especially with this bridge and everything they built up. I really like it. But yeah, back to the point. Fortunately, my dad was never really a good example, because I've seen him both verbally and physically abuse my mom. Everything from shouting, yelling, demeaning her, calling her names, calling her a whore, comparing her to other women. I've also seen him literally hold a knife to her throat and choke her, breaking glass, all that type of stuff. And as a kid, I think that really traumatized me, and this really gives me a reference point to never be like him. Another thing I felt like I lacked an example was emotional control. And none of this is to just throw dirt on my dad's name, because he actually passed away back in 2022. It's June 2025, so that's almost 3 years. I'll explain more of that in the next part of the video. But one thing I think he lacked was emotional control, because he never really was able to control his emotions, and always arguing with people, never really knew how to forgive. That's according to both my mom, other people, and his friends and family, as well as what I've seen. Because unfortunately, when I heard his friends talk about him, they pretty much said the same thing, that they all got a call for him at one point or another. He cussed them out, asked for money, and was being mean to them, all that type of stuff. So that's something I only found out near the time of his passing. Other than that, unfortunately, with his history, I think this is common with a lot in the Black community, in the Jamaican Caribbean community, as well as the African American community, or specifically those who are more like in the quote unquote ghetto scene. But you know, story with my dad was he had 17 kids with multiple women after sleeping around a lot. So yeah, that's a bit weird to share in public, especially since I'm actually out in public vlogging. But I think I'm not really paying much mind to what people think around me. Only found that out right after his passing, but because before that, I always thought he was a good person. I never really believed all the negative things my mom said about him until his passing. because he thought she was just lying with all the drama and all that stuff. But when I heard other witnesses of other relatives and friends saying the same thing, that's when I unfortunately had to accept the truth that my dad was not the hero, the good person I thought he was. And honestly, what hurt me wasn't his passing, but what hurt me most was the hero I thought my dad was supposed to be wasn't. And I feel like that really left a hole in me as a child growing up, even till now. I think just now in recent, like 1 or 2 years, I've been really feeling the effects of what it's like to grow up without a father. Really trying to just seek the Lord Jesus and heal from that. So, as you guys can probably see behind me, the building you actually see right behind me, that's actually my dad's building where he used to live. He passed away back in July of 2022, July 20th to be specific. I'll tell you the story about that a little bit. So it was I got a call from in May of 2022 that he was terminal. He had some sort of cancer, health condition. Because my dad was, I think, like 82 at the time. My mom was like around like 61. All I know is like there was like a 20 plus age gap between them. Weird, I know, but during that time, that's when I met my sister-in-law, and then meeting with his friends, and that's when we were preparing for his funeral arrangements and his passing. That's when my relatives and friends and my dad's friends told me the truth about him, that he really wasn't the good person I thought he was, that he was abusive, didn't work hard, wasn't a good example. Years prior, back in 2014, I heard a similar news he was going to pass away due to some sort of cancer. And from then on, for whatever reason, I didn't talk to him for about 3 years until 2017. That's when my mom got a call from a mysterious number with him looking for me, and that's when I reunited. And he told me that he was miraculously cured. Like, they did surgery and threw out the cancer out, so they restored him back to health. And I think that's the part when he told me that he sold drugs and stuff like that. That's how I figured out when I was a kid, when I was living with him, that why all those people, especially all those men, were in and out of his apartment, because he used to sell like drugs and stuff like that. But besides the point, this passing, like, the thing that hurt me the most was knowing that my dad, the one who was supposed to be my hero, wasn't the man I thought he was. And all those bad things my mom said about him, that he was a bad person, before I never believed it. But honestly, now after his passing, and that now his friends and relatives testify, now I know the truth, and I feel like that's gonna be something on me to deal with and heal from going forward. So while I'm at it, just walking around, posting the area, finding somewhere to sit and record, I figure I'd share some statistics about men who grow up without fathers. I don't have the exact stats on me right now because I'm on road, but it's not looking too good for those who never grew up without a father. I think it might especially affect boys a bit differently than girls. I'm not sure about the girls' side, so if you're a woman who maybe grew up without a father, maybe feel free to share your experiences in the comments. But statistically, people who grow up without fathers are more likely to be promiscuous. At least girls who grow up without fathers are more likely to be promiscuous. They're more likely to have relationship problems, have an issue trusting men, because they never really had an example of what a man should be. What a man should be growing up, how a woman should be loved and treated. Maybe there was no father. Maybe the father may have been abusive, or didn't provide, or wasn't a good person. So that has some of the negative effects it has on girls. Guys, it tends to be a bit, I'd say, a bit more nuanced. More likely to commit suicide, drop out of school, less likely to go to college, more likely to be in poverty, more likely to develop depression, anxiety, mental health issues, more likely to be in jail or die early. Guys who grew up without fathers are also more likely to engage in promiscuity and early sexual activity, just similar to how it is with girls. So neither looking good for neither side. Sorry, excuse that there. It's just a biker passing me behind me. But a father is kind of like how a child is going to view God. It's kind of like being God's emissary to the child, since God himself describes himself as a father. So if the child has a bad example of a father, then that's going to set that child up, boy or girl, at sort of a disadvantage later in life. Obviously, like, we shouldn't be just playing the victim, and you don't always have a choice in the cards you're dealt with, but you do have a choice in how you deal with it. So yeah, that's something I wanted to put out there. But I feel like a lack of fatherlessness is just like a kind of lack of God in general. All right, 1 second. Oh, so I met some
Don't know what it
brethren.
is, big. What's your road shit, go? Don't know where on the block, man.
Okay.
Come over here.
Okay.
Smoking on that pee, man.
Interesting. This is the Weston and Lawrence area, North York and Toronto, so it is kind of a hood. Because I know Canada is not really a place that's known for like hood activity, ghetto and stuff like that. But yeah, I think I just ran into some YNs, if you know what I mean. So interesting ninjas. But anyways, back to the video. It's interesting that just happened because, whoa, I don't know if y'all could hear that, but some man them were just revving their motorcycle engines. But anyways, but yeah, what just happened with those young fellows just throwing up gang signs and all that type of stuff. Not to try and judge or anything, but I have a feeling that these kids did not grow up with fathers and are being raised by single moms. Because like I said, I don't think I mentioned it earlier, but kids who, especially boys in particular, who didn't grow up with a father, especially if you're more in the black and Hispanic or like quote unquote ghetto or hood or whatever community you want to call it, they're more likely to get involved in gangs because that provides some sort of like masculinity. And they're more likely to get involved in gangs because they lack that masculine father figure growing up. So they find that those gangs and other unhealthy ways to fill in that masculine void for lacking a father. I think a lot of them just get overly emotional and violent and don't know how to control their emotions, whether it's gangs or domestic violence or just in general. So yeah, just felt like I need to put that out there. Just let me get this out of the way. Just, I don't know if y'all can see me good, just found a nice little bench in this area, which I'm just sitting down on. Oh, I really like environments like this, urban environments. You can just find a bench and sit down. So I'm in Toronto, and even though I'm not in downtown, I feel like I can still, there's still places where I can be able to just sit down and just find somewhere to sit and just like set up and yeah. Anyways, back to the topic about men's mental health, where yeah, so I'm talking about, I'm tying it into Father's Day as well, since with June being Mental Health Month, so Father's Day and Men's Mental Health Month fall on the same month. So I feel like the reason why it's important, because I know, like, even outside of like daddy issues, I know a lot of men are struggling and suffering in silence. I know a lot of men are just told to just suck it up. Just don't talk about your emotions. My response to that is, which gender dominates the most suicides, imprisonments, more likely to be homeless? Which gender dominates being more likely to drop out of school? Although that's likely a personal choice, but at the same time, I know there are also other challenges with the system and mental health. Less likely to actually get the help they need because men are told to just suck it up. Especially with the red pill movement going on nowadays, people like Andrew Tate and Myron Gaines telling men to just man up. Obviously, they're important parts of masculinity, but I don't feel like keeping your emotions balled up inside and just like letting them all burst out is very healthy, especially since when you keep it all inside for too long, that it'll just burst like a balloon or like a propane tank that's under extreme pressure, and you may end up hurting or even killing others or yourselves. And I've seen many cases of that where it's usually men who are doing these mass shootings, who are doing like all these like evil things. Obviously, I'm not using emotions as an excuse or justification, but I'm just making a point. Men are more likely to lash out, especially if they keep things inside and don't deal with it. Now, hold on, let me switch sides. Switching sides is a bad idea, so I gotta go back to the other side. The sun's muddy here. Kind of want to like go over my own mental health struggles currently as well as in the past, especially with me growing up without a father. So I realized that I admit that I struggle with anxiety and depression. I also admit that I also have quite a bit of trouble controlling my emotions internally and externally. And I admit that I often have a bad habit, still do sometimes, of taking out my emotions on other people, just lashing out verbally. I have bullied people both in school and online before. Obviously, I'm not proud of it. really trying to change my ways and like just heal and stuff. And there's no justification for that at all under any circumstance. I just want to be real with you guys and not be fake. Just keep it 100, you know? Sometimes I have a bad habit of taking my frustration, anger out on people. So if I'm having a bad day, if I'm in my I don't care mode, I'm going to make sure you and everyone else around me has a bad day as well. Also, to struggle with just not feeling good enough, always feeling insecure about myself, and just not feeling I can not feeling that I can amount to anything. I don't think it's all too much because of what was said to me, but kind of just like lack of encouragement from a father figure, and yeah, just like feel like a lack of encouragement, or like feel like that in a way that's also like affected my way to like receive encouragement and like love and compliments. Because like, man, this is too good to be true, and I kind of struggle with a lot of self-doubt, and definitely I think because of that I do not take criticism well, like at all. Like if it's constructive, and I feel like I fell out over a friend over that, but yeah, I think that kind of makes it hard for me to take constructive feedback, especially from people that love me and care about me, and I know they mean no harm, but I take it as kind of an offense, even though I shouldn't, and instead use it to learn and grow. But yeah, just wanted to get that point across. Next thing I want to touch on is therapy. Now, I know among men it's a bit debated. I know among women, like women will tell you, definitely go to therapy, definitely talk it out with someone. But men, you think, depending on who you ask, some men will be for therapy, others will tell you just suck it up, keep inside, maybe just go to the gym or whatever and work. But I think for a lot of men who are struggling, like work can be a distraction, and that can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you view it. As a man, there is nothing wrong with therapy or seeking help. In fact, that might be what is necessary for you to really heal, especially if you don't want to eventually take it out on your loved ones, like your friends, your family, your wife or children, stuff like that. Definitely been slacking on my faith as well, since kind of been going through it the last couple months. Another aspect of, like I touched on before, of growing up without a father is how it affects how you view God. Because if you view God as like, if you had a father that was good but also disciplined you, you're also gonna view God as someone who uses pain and discipline for your good, and he's not out to get you or anything like that. If you had a father who was negligent or wasn't really there or didn't really care, then you're likely going to see God in the same way as well. If you had a dad that was always criticizing and judging you without really offering any ways to improve or encouraging you to improve, and like giving you positive feedback and like a good job, then you're also going to likely view God in that way as well, as someone you can never please, a father you'll never be able to please. And if you had an abusive father who's always hurting you for no reason, then you're likely going to see that in God as well. So whenever trials of life come, you're, instead of saying like this is a way to grow stronger and deepen your faith, you're instead likely going to blame God. Be like, God, where are you? Or why do you allow this to happen? That's why having strong, masculine, godly fathers is really, really important. I will stand by that till the end of time. It's kind of weird coming from that kind of family, such a broken family, but even so, I do know that there's hope and restoration in Jesus Christ, that no matter what family me or you or anyone comes from, that anyone who repents of their sins and puts their faith and hope in Jesus Christ can be born again and be adopted into God's family according to Scripture. So yeah, I just kind of want to end the video here. I know it was doozy to make, but I had a lot of fun making it. I just want to provide a quick last sort of encouragement and hope that there is hope, whether you're a man or a woman, boy or girl, that if you grew up without your father, that there is hope, there is restoration, and your past does not have to dictate your future. And as far as mental health, I want to just say that men, especially in light of Men's Mental Health Month, it's okay to seek help. It's okay to say that you're not okay, to seek help, whether that's therapy, the gym, or any other means. But yeah, I just want to end the vlog here. And yeah, God bless you all.